Hey, happy birthday, Cancer. Welcome to your July 2021 astrological forecast. Obviously, the sun is in your sign, right? Up until the 21st, and there's a new moon in your sign on the 9th. Mercury moves into your sign on the 11th. So you have these three planets in your first house. And you just had Mars in your sign, okay? But Mars moved into Leo, where you have Leo in your chart as your second house. So when Mars was in your first house was when you had this burst of energy to just get a lot of things done. Okay, I always say when Mars is in your own sign, it's your time to make corrections in your life or change things and put them the way you would like them to be. Okay, so whatever, you had a plan. Okay, you did something or other, and now having these other planets, especially the sun, is just a continuation of that going on in your life. Okay, let's see here. Venus is also in Leo. Okay, so the love planets, Venus and Mars, are both in your second house of how you earn your money, income, bringing in extra income, especially with Mars being here. Makes you really kind of aggressive, but having Venus here does kind of mellow it out at the same time, having Venus here at the same time. But it does make you a real go-getter in this area. And having the sun, and especially Mercury in your first house, from the 11th on, Mercury's still in Gemini up to like the 10th in your 12th house. You have maybe that one last confidential conversation with someone while Mercury is in your 12th house, okay? Or you make that one last move or finalization into something that paperwork even, or just whatever, before Mercury moves into your first house, where you become extremely talkative. The sun is already here, so you're all lit up and you're the center of attention anyway. Having Mercury in your sign means that you're on the sending and receiving end of communications of some kind. So, you could be for any reason, okay, for any reason, but having Venus and Mars in your second house of money and income, how you earn your money, or creating a new source of income, means that in a way maybe that's what some of your communications are about. The new moon is in your sign on the 9th, so this is your personal new moon. It's for the whole year. It begins like your year begins at this time. Okay, so whatever you start at this time, it is kind of blessed with the sun and Mercury being here at the same time. You don't even have to start anything, even if it's just a thought that comes into your mind, or an opinion that you form, or something that you plan on doing in the future. But a lot of times people do make really kind of big beginnings at this time. And it could be something, again, back to money or some new source of income. There's a full moon, okay, in the sign of Aquarius on the 23rd here. Let's see here. Yes. Okay, so where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 8th house. It's directly across from your second house of Leo. 8th house is other people's money and resources, and money coming to you through means other than earning it. So it's inheritances, legacies, settlements of any kind, insurance payouts. Now, Jupiter was here. Okay, Jupiter is actually moving back into this area on the 27th. But Jupiter briefly moved into, 28th. Okay, Jupiter briefly moved into Pisces for like the past 2 months. So you had to deal with just having Saturn all by itself, okay, transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. When Jupiter and Saturn are here together, Jupiter acts as like a buffer area to Saturn's the full effect of the planet. But so when Jupiter left here, you got to experience that, though, what it's like to have just Saturn in your 8th house. And a lot of times this is the house of endings and new beginnings. It is the house of death, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the death of a person. However, this could have happened at this time, but it's sometimes the death of an idea, a way of living, a just anything that you would like to end in your life and begin again, begin new. Okay, this is the house of regeneration and rebirth also. Okay, so something like that could have occurred where something did end. It could be that someone was possibly relying on you far too much and your resources, or vice versa. Maybe you were having to rely on someone else through no fault of your own, actually, just because you've had the planet Pluto in Capricorn, your opposite sign, directly across from any planets that you have in Cancer. So you were almost in a way put in that kind of position whether you chose it or not. Okay, so having to deal with like being under someone's thumb. They're calling the shots all the time. Whatever. I've been through this many times with you in the past. So now it just moves on to something like that. Okay, so around this full moon on the 8th, just a few days later, Jupiter is moving back into Aquarius on the 28th. So whatever occurs around that full moon, I wouldn't pay too much attention to it, because Jupiter is moving back into this area, and you've got that buffer zone again, and you've got expansion and opportunity in this area at the same time. That's what Jupiter governs. Okay, so you could have around that full moon a bit of maybe conversation or even an argument with someone over jointly held resources. Okay, or who owes what, who's spending too much money, anything. But again, because you have that Venus and Mars in your second house of earned income, you may be bringing in more money right now, and maybe they want some of it. Maybe they feel they're owed it. That it's also theirs, even though it's yours. So that's just something. That's just one possibility. There's others, but it's just to give you a bit of an idea. Okay. So, okay, here, Venus does move into Virgo on the 21st, and Mars moves into Virgo on the 29th, and where you have Virgo in your chart is your third house of your everyday life, the people you would encounter throughout the normal course of a day, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your siblings, your cousins. This is a communication and travel house. It's like regular postal mail and email. It's the written word. It's contracts of any kind. It's the internet. Excuse me. So having Mars especially moving here just means that you're very active within your own area, in your own neighborhood. You've taken a sudden interest, if you didn't have one already before, in some kind of an event that's going on there, or just the possibilities for you, what there could be in store for you somewhere in the future. Maybe you are starting your own business, something like that, or maybe you're going to be part of some other kind of event or a function that happens maybe this time every year here. Okay, having Venus here just brings like pleasant times within your own neighborhood, or even with your neighbors, or again your siblings, your cousins. Mars is sometimes almost like having Mercury here, where you'd be doing an awful lot of running around within your area. You're trying to get something done, it seems, because of this Mars being here. And having Venus here means that people are like fairly cooperative with you and want to help you in whatever it is that you're doing. Now, you may have some kind of plan or other, whatever it's for, okay, but you might need the assistance of your neighbors or something like that, and that could be what you're trying to do, is gather everyone together. That's like one thing. But it could be, maybe you are trying to start your own business within your own area, and you are maybe possibly just getting in touch with other business owners. Okay, let's see here. So, I think that's pretty much about it. Just the Sun and Mercury and Mars for a little while here, being in your second house of Leo, I would have to say that even money that you were waiting on, that is due you, that is yours. You know, that's what you've been waiting for. That could possibly come to you around that full moon of the 23rd. If that's something that's like, still going on here, because Mercury actually moves into Leo on the 27th, and that full moon is on the 23rd. So having Mercury in your second house sometimes is like tracking down money, chasing your money. Where is it? It is. The check is in the mail. But, it brings a little bit of activity, okay, in this area. And then having Mars here also brings a lot of activity. But that Mercury's a timer in astrology, so sometimes you have to wait for it to do something to get the end result. So, okay, the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign and the moon is in Cancer on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Capricorn. And those dates are the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of gambling or speculation, and anything to do with children is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for money is the 11th, 12th, 24th, 25th, and 26th. The best time for your career is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 13th, 14th, 15th, 26th, and 27th. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for July. Be sure to check out my monthly forecast. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel. Check out my Ask Me a Question section in the description below. There's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And have a fantastic birthday. Goodbye.